everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome back to my ranking of all the heroes and villains of Marvel United. We're still closer to the end than we are to the beginning, but come on, I just like playing this game. So I like these heroes and villains. We're going to be taking a look at 5 heroes and 3 villains today, but we're taking a look at the same character twice. How is that possible? Well, let's see, starting with the heroes. Okay, we're going to start off here with Valkyrie. Now, Valkyrie has the same card all 3 times, which is move to any location and fight. Not a bad card to have, especially at the end when you're fighting against the main bad guy, to be able to jump to their location and fight and hopefully follow something else. That being said, her fighting ability is not as strong as many of the other characters, but her movement, her movement's not too shabby, and because of this, being able to move to any location. That's pretty strong, right? And her heroics isn't bad. She's kind of a good middling character. I know I've been saying that a lot about the characters that I have in this spot. I like the art a lot, actually, on the cards. Her miniature looks pretty good. Let's see if we can get that in focus here. I like, and I like the character. So she's fun to stick into a deck, but it's hard to point out this is why I'm putting her in a deck. I'll round out the team with Valkyrie. So now we have just sheer power with Beta Ray Bill, one of the strongest characters in the game. Good stats all around. Being able to move, hit twice, and draw a card. Oh my word. He's not so much of a great team player because he doesn't give as many good stats, but look at all that movement. Look at all that fighting. He has even a double heroic, but it's his fighting that just makes him really strong. So if you're looking for a powerhouse, that's why you're going to pick Beta Ray Bill. Now, the reason he's not as high, the reason he's here at number 39, is because I'll pick other powerhouses over him. If I'm looking for someone who's strong, there's a few other characters I'll pick just because of the diversity. I don't like characters as much that have 3 of the same card, but you can't complain. That's a pretty good card. Beta Ray Bill. Yeah, so he's just a silly character. I've always enjoyed Beta Ray Bill in the comics and such. So, yay! And Black Panther. Now, Black Panther has great movement. I mean, look at all those movement icons moving around. And he has some interesting cards. Basically, he has 3 cards that are the same. They give 1 icon to everybody else and the other 2 icons to him. So triple threat there. That's fantastic. Other than that, good solid person to put in a team. The reason he's not higher is because as cool as these are, they don't help anybody else, which makes him have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards with a single icon at the bottom, not counting the wild. And double movement's good, and I like that you can give double movement to somebody else. And heroic, but yeah, he doesn't seem amazing, which is, again, why he's here in the middle of the pack. But I like the character. I think these cards are fun to play. They feel good for you. And if you're going to solo with just one character, then Black Panther would be one certainly to consider. So let me ask you this. Is the Rocket character even a chibi, or is it just an ordinary miniature? Would it be different? Anyway, it's still a cool-looking miniature. Rocket's an interesting character to me. Great on a team. Well, great specifically on the team with the Star-Lord and Gamora. He has some great cards here. Hey, gain 1 wild token, or your action token's going to be used twice this turn. So if you get tokens from somewhere else, to be able to use your tokens twice, and get a token, or convert a number of actions you have into wild tokens. That second half doesn't get used that much, but just the fact that he has 3 things that give you that. His stats where he falls for me a little bit. Look at that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, if you count the wild, cards with only 1 icon on the bottom. He's a selfish character in a sense. Has great stuff, but doesn't help his teammates out that well. I like using him. He's somebody that I'll gladly take, and I think the combination of him and Groot, as it should be, works really well together, and him and Star-Lord, or him and Gamora. He works well with the different people on the Guardians of the Galaxy. So he's fun to play, just not necessarily, for me, a team player. And here we have somebody else who's not necessarily a team player. Now, Hawkeye has decent stats across the board. His movement, I wish he had maybe a little bit more movement, but his fighting and heroics, he's a very balanced character. What brings him up above some of the other people with the same stats are, I like this card, is just fun. Any damage you can take will be redirected to enemies in your location. That's just fun. I wish there were more cards like that. You could treat each symbol in the storyline as double strength. That's not bad, except sometimes it doesn't matter. In the right circumstance, that's a great card. And this one, while it sometimes doesn't matter, but hitting the opposite location for 2 damage, that's just a fun thing to do. His cards, some of his cards almost feel more fun than they are useful, but I do like the redirect one. It just makes you feel good. You're like, you're hitting me? No way, I'm hitting you back. So he's a character I don't know that's necessarily a powerhouse, but I have a lot of fun playing with him. All right, to the enemies. If you want to fight someone who's just going to whoop up on you, then Ronan is the character that you're going to want to play. With his giant hammer. This guy is here for the fight. If he knocks you out, he gets a KO token. 4 KO tokens, you lose. And that's basically what he does. Now he's going to move most of his movement cards, almost all of them, he either moves to the next person with heroes or without heroes. He adds fighters to every location, sometimes people. But the big thing about him, you'll notice, is his cards require different tokens and heroics. He's one of the easiest, I feel, to specifically build a group of heroes to beat him. You put a bunch of fighters in, you can almost ignore heroics. You can't ignore it completely. He's going to drop people off in different location, and he does drop off a decent amount of civilians, so you have to rescue them. But that's all you're using them for, so you're better off just coming in for the fight. Especially when you have things that take 2 damage to be defeated. So if you bring in some fast people, Quicksilver works against him, Beta Ray Bill, Thor, Punisher, people with powerful things are, for them, taking out Ronan is not so nuanced as you might think. It's just raw power. I kind of waffle on Green Goblin's placement here. I think he's definitely an interesting villain to play. He's one of the more unique ones. All his threat cards start face down. Do not place them on the board. You have a threat pile here that are face down, so when he moves around, when he goes around and bam, you draw a threat card and put him there, and if all 6 threat cards are out, he wins. So that's kind of interesting. When it's clear, you shuffle it back in the deck. So you could meet Kraven, for example, multiple times. And Lizard, sadly, who does not have its own character to fight against. But, that's kind of interesting that's there. But also, he can't be damaged if there's any people on his dashboard. And a lot of times, he'll kidnap them and put them on his dashboard. And if you can't add him there, you'll draw a threat card and put it there. He's interesting, but he does make me change my play style. Like normally when I'm playing, first thing we do is let's take out a threat card. Well, there may only be 1 threat card on the board. We may not be able to get to it quickly enough. So then you're just doing damage control for a while. So it makes him tricky to play against, but I got to give him points, again, for being so unique. Corvus Glaive, he's another one that I wonder, should I put him lower on my list? He's very straightforward. You fight him. In fact, he's very similar to Ronan, who we've already seen here, because he's doing the KO tokens, except he's not doing 4. He does equal to the number of heroes. But he's going around doing damage. I put him a little higher because he's so straightforward. If you're first playing the game, he's one that's worth going to. He's going to go around and get you, and he's going to move around and do damage to people. And he doesn't have a lot of special rules. His cards all do damage, but they're not too difficult. Hey, get rid of those cards. If you end your turn in this location, take a damage. I don't like that card at all. But hey, let's get rid of that. Then that's a location we can stay in. And he's not going to be doing too many tricky things, except he will occasionally move to where you are and do damage to everyone there. So you just split up and take him out. I don't know, maybe I like him because he's so straightforward. But all right, that's the last villain we're taking a look at today. Here's the sets that these different folks came from. Quite a variety today. And I've reviewed each of these expansions separately, so you'll be able to look at what I think of the expansions as a whole. But hey, we're at the point now where even though these are still on the bottom half of the list, I still really like all these characters, but you may think they're your favorites. Let me know in the comments if any of these characters make your top lists. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching me rate all the heroes and villains in Marvel United. See you next time.